this. So welcome back, everyone, for day 2 of our week 3 IXL summer program at CME. We are back with another banger from Mr. Cobbs, who is here to give us some blueprints on college English reading and writing. So without further ado, we turn it over to Mr. Cobbs.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much, Corey. It's great to see all of you again. Today, I was just hoping that we could talk mainly about how to access some of the versions of writing, well, not just writing help, but academic help, academic assistance that we have at the campus. Yesterday we talked about kind of the main sort of ideas that we're shifting into when we get into college writing. Two main points that I tried to emphasize and that I'll continuously emphasize as we all work together are, what does college writing look like in general terms? And what does the process that we probably should follow as writers look like in college? And we said yesterday that college writing tends to look like something that emphasizes a claim. This is what I claim to be true, plus laying out proof, plus explaining that proof. That is the emphasis. It's going to have slightly different forms, but that's the emphasis that all college writing tends to take, at least nonfiction versions of college writing. And then because it's got such sort of strict emphasis on those things, and that there's a fairly, hardly expected or strictly expected structure that we tend to follow in college writing, it's good for us to focus on things in a careful way. So the process we want to follow is to plan out our work, to do think, write, read, and revise or rewrite as our work process, right? Think, write, read, revise, or rewrite. And that's a great habit to get into as a work pattern. So to help us in that work pattern, we want to engage in the different academic assistance modes that we have at CCP. And so I thought that I would share my screen and kind of show you guys how to use the Learning Lab online. And I'll give you a little warning. It's fairly simple to do. There's a few little quirks that I'll try to point out. The other thing that I'll tell you is that midway through my explanation of this, we're going to be joined by 2 Learning Lab tutors. We're going to be joined by John Politis, who is a math tutor, and Isaiah Devine, who is an English and writing tutor, and who's also a CME mentor. They'll join up, and when I stop sharing my screen, which will probably be in about 8 minutes or so, they'll have lots of stuff that they can share with you about strategies for working with Learning Lab tutors as well, okay? So for the first couple minutes, I'll just show you how to make an appointment with the Learning Lab. And then we can talk about strategies kind of in an open forum about how to use tutoring in general, okay? So remember, you've got, as a CME member, you've got access to tutoring through me in the CME or at a specific schedule with CME, whether it's not physically there, if we're distance, I'm going to have a specific schedule that's devoted just to the CME. And with, of course, Joe Kennedy for math, who also works just with the CME. And then, of course, beyond CME specific tutors, you've got the Learning Lab tutors. And then depending on if you've got it in your course, a course specifically may have a tutor.com link up as well, which is sort of an overnight thing. You can't use that during the day. You can only use it during the overnight hours through your course. But right now, I'll share my screen and I'll show you how to use the Learning Lab version, if that's all right. And people can let me know if they've got questions along the way. Oh, looks like I can't share yet. Would wanna you guys see if you can make me host so I can share? Let's see, Corey or Al, are you there, or Shane?
Hey, what's up?
I can't share my screen. Can you guys enable my sharing?
You got it. Hey, you
Thanks.
should be good to go.
There we go. All right, so in order to make an appointment at the Learning Lab, you can do it two ways. You can do it, virtually, starting here at the home screen for CME, and you can also do it in person once we get to an in-person relationship, right? Once the campus opens up for that, and I'll just do the virtual method, right? So you just log in to your MyCCP just like you normally would. And then here, we've got this landing page that we all come to. It's under Student Quick Links. Do you see me down here? I'm going to click on Student Quick Links. And we've got this drop-down menu, and I'll just focus on it so it's more easy to see. So within Student Quick Links here, I'm going to go down to just below the library. Here's the library link, which is really useful for searching stuff. And then right here, Access Online Tutoring. So it's Student Quick Links and then Access Online Tutoring. I've noticed that it sometimes asks you to log in again, but it doesn't always ask this. So I'll just do this again, and I think that it will work. So it must have been that I was on earlier today, but then timed out. Let me see if I can go back and try this again. So I'm going back to Student Quick Links again, and I'm going to try Access Online Tutoring. And that time it worked. So you just noticed one of the quirks, right? If you've timed out, it will sometimes ask you to log in again, and sometimes it won't let you in. I found that if I just opened another window and then just reloaded the scheduling tool, it seems to work. So this is what you come to. They call this WC Online. And it's just a big schedule of all the tutors of all the days that you've got available, right? So this is every tutor of every day this week. And the Learning Lab is open Monday through Saturday, and it looks like they've got, although it doesn't look like they've got Saturday hours here. So we've got these days that are, actually, since we're in the summer schedule, they might not be open Saturday. They might close on Thursday, or close on for Friday and Saturday. So when we go into regular semester hours, they will be open through Saturday. So we've got this big schedule here where we've got all these tutors. But the way to really narrow it down is if you know the tutor that you want to meet with, which is the way we all want to get to that, right? We want to get to a place where we've met a tutor, we like that tutor, and we're going to keep coming back to that tutor or those several tutors that we like. But before you know that, you probably just want to start by selecting your course, right? So you click this drop-down menu here, Subject Course Selection, and you've got this whole collection of courses that you can get tutoring in. So economics, English, French, geology, chemistry, biology, computer systems, anthropology, accounting, there's lots of them, right? So if I was looking for an English tutor, I can choose these different courses, and depending on what courses I'm in, that's maybe where I'd start. So maybe I'll choose English 98. And now that narrows down my ability to find tutors, right? It looks like there's one tutor available these next few days for me to select an appointment with in 098, in English 98. But if I've just got a general writing question and it may not be specific to 098, then I might want to open the field up by checking something like English 101, which is also about essays. And there's going to be more people tutoring for English 101 because that's a required course for everybody. So see, we've got a wider selection here. And one of the people we have who tutors for English 101 is Mr. Isaiah Devine, who's going to join us today and be able to talk about some of this tutoring.
Hello, I'm here, Pat.
Oh, great. How you doing?
Great, how are you?
All right. I'm just trying to give a little overview about how students would sign up for tutoring hours, and then I thought we'd open it to discussions.
Doing a great job, carry on.
Thank you so much. So if I wanted to schedule with Mr. Devine, then I'd pick a time slot that I want. So maybe I'm picking, okay, Tuesday, we'll say 2:00, and I'd click on 2:00, and then this menu pops up, or this window pops up, and it tells me the parameters for my tutoring session. It tells me that it would be from 2 to 2:30. And I think I've got a little bit of agency to make it a little bit longer. And maybe Mr. Devine, if I don't think I can go beyond an hour here, right?
No, you cannot go beyond an hour.
Yeah, it
So,
looks
so
like
the maximum
you can.
window would be 1 hour.
Yeah. So you can at most choose an hour session when you're doing this. But the default is a half an hour. So I'll just do it for a default right now for a half hour so you can see what happens. And then there's and you can see that Mr. Devine teaches or tutors several different courses here. We've got 101, 102, behavior health, and several courses in the behavior health field, 101, 102, 105, and sociology. So a lot of tutors do this. A lot of tutors tutor more than one course. So the chances are if you meet with a tutor and you like that person, you'll be able to go back to them for several courses at least some of the time. Once you've got this here, you've got a choice of 2 kinds of tutoring. This isn't always the case. It depends on the subject and it depends on the tutor's preference. But here we've got a choice for e-tutoring, which is in writing, it would look like if you've got a draft and you've written that draft, and you would email that draft or send that draft somehow to your tutor, to Mr. Devine, and then he'd take a look at that draft sort of offline and then get back to you with comments about that. That's what e-tutoring looks like. And that's really effective when it comes to kind of help with that revision process or rewriting process that we were talking about yesterday.
Can I jump in real quick, Pat?
Yeah, please do.
Right along those same lines. Now, in regards to e-tutoring, there's a place in this appointment registration form where you can actually upload your work right in this format here. You don't actually have to use email. You can use email, but if you use this format here and upload whatever you want me to look at, I would prefer, because it will give me an alert to my phone. Then I would see that you had uploaded docs. And you should also upload any instructions and directions from your professor and any specific questions that you would like to work on. Take it away, Pat.
Nice. That is so helpful. And you're much more advanced than I am. I definitely don't have those notifications connected to my phone. But you can see, that this is going to be different for each tutor, right? A tutor will get those preferences in the way that they've set it up. And so Mr. Devine's got it in this way because it works well for him. And this upload function down here is really critical when you're working with a learning lab. And also, please note, you guys, that Mr. Devine mentioned this information here in this form, where it talks about what you want to talk about in your tutor session and what you're working on. This is super important for a tutor to know, even before they meet with you, because then they don't have to spend, you don't have to spend 15 minutes, 20 minutes with that tutor, the tutor asking you those questions at the beginning of the session, which you kind of lose tutoring time, right? So you lose work time. So this is really critical. When you fill this stuff out at the Learning Lab, it makes things go well. So you'd click what you want. You click either e-tutoring or online tutoring. And online tutoring is basically like what we're doing now. It's like a real-time conversation with people about the work that you're working on. Either way, you still want to fill out that information form that Mr. Devine was just talking about. So it's, what would you like to work on? You've got some things saved here that I've already typed in. This is what I was putting in when I was setting up tutoring sessions with John Politis earlier and with Mr. Devine yesterday. You can do the same thing here. Is there a particular topic or concept or assignment you'd like to work on? You can get in more detail to the idea that you want to work on with your, you just type in, I want to know how to write a thesis statement, something like that. And that'll help your tutor understand what your focus is for that session. This is kind of what your course, the what style are you writing in, right? If it's a writing assignment, your course is going to tell you, you won't know this until you get the assignment or the course, but it might be, if it's English, MLA. If it's a social science, it might be APA style. And this is important for your tutor to know as well, because it changes a little bit about how you'll document the text. And then of course, tell them what is the course. And then this is where you would choose a file to upload into your tutoring session window. And so then I'll create an appointment. And then I'll be asked to, I think, confirm it, right? Or maybe I didn't fill everything out. Thesis.
So all the red asterisk areas have to be filled, Pat.
Right, yeah. So I'll write help with a 101 paper. So it's not letting me go in because I haven't finished everything. So I'll just see if I can do it now. All right, so I've made an appointment and it's going to send me an email. You just heard it ding. That's my email notification that I have this appointment. And so now I'll remember it. And you can see on the signal, on the schedule, that appointment is blocked off in Mr. Devine's schedule there. So I'll remember that appointment because I've got the email. And then when I go back to my email, see if I can find it quickly for you guys. Here's the email. And is it usually this? I think it is. I usually just go back and start it. There we go. I'm now forgetting how you get from the email back to the appointment. Well, the way that I do it, and maybe you know a different way to do it, Mr. Devine, but the way that I usually do it is I go back to the schedule and I just click on this thing.
Right.
And then when it's time, and that's how I get into the appointment.
Right.
Is that the only way? Is there a link in email?
Go ahead. Was that
Well,
John?
I think the easiest way is just the same place you make the appointment. You access the appointment.
Yeah, so I didn't see that link in email. It looks like we just go back to the schedule and we click that yellow box that we've made. And then when it's time, I'll be able to access that appointment. And I think you might be able to see a real-time one for me with John, and John was just talking there. Where is it? Today is Tuesday. I think I gotta get out of English to do that.
Yeah, I think the email is just kind of like confirmation of the appointment.
Yeah.
But you could always just log in to WC Online and see all the appointments that you've made, right? And access them in the same place. So I just keep it simple. Just same place you make the appointment, you access the appointment. That's what I always say, right?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stop sharing, and if people have questions, then we can go back into share and kind of resolve them. So that was just an overview, you guys, about how to make a tutoring appointment through the Learning Lab. Like we said, that's just one way to do it. When we get physically on campus, you'll be able to go into the library and the Learning Lab there and make an appointment in that way too. Hopefully you'll get to this place where you'll meet several tutors in the Learning Lab and through the CME who you'll have a relationship with and you'll want to come back to and just continuously work with them maybe once a week or twice a week on your regular courses. This is the habit that I got into when I was in school, and it really helped. And every time I work with students in a regular way like that, it seems to make a big difference. So yeah, John or Isaiah, if you guys have any more you want to add, please do share.
Yes, absolutely, Patrick. You kind of nailed it for me. Like the whole idea is for students who use tutoring to one day become tutors. So our mission is to help people help themselves and to ideally become helpers to others. So that's the best case scenario. But we're here, we're available, and we hope to see you soon. Please come and use us. Help us earn our paychecks. Make us earn them, rather.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, for me, hi everyone, I'm John Politis. I'm kind of in charge of the math thing, and I know this is a writing focused workshop here, but I wanted to at least plug math for 1 minute, if that's okay. The first thing is like, Patrick was saying some awesome things about engagement, you know, and just the students that actually come and start to meet the tutors, they kind of get roped in and socially integrated a little bit more. Like I looked at some things a few years back and was able to show that the students that actually came to tutoring, their persistence was greater. So they actually had a greater chance of, like, let's say, finishing a semester, or let alone getting a higher grade, right? So it's just about getting roped in on campus. And when it comes to math, kind of has a reputation, right? People avoid it. All right. I'll just be real with you. People put off their math class till the last possible instant. They take everything else and they kind of push it off and avoid it. A lot of people have like anxiety and stuff. So I want you to look at tutoring as not just kind of addressing misconceptions that you have with content, but also like learning study skills. Like if you come to me, it's like I really focus on that. Like a success plan, let's say, like, how are you going to be successful? Let's talk about how you study math and how to do it better and overcoming any anxiety that's kind of getting in the way. So we try to take a holistic approach, right? But it's really important to break the ice and get in there. So if anybody's taking a math class this semester, I just want to personally invite you to make an appointment with me or another tutor and find somebody that you like, right? And like Isaiah said, right? I love hiring student tutors. I love it. You know, I look at the Learning Labs as being a professional incubator for students, where you can learn some great skills like communication skills. I would love to hire everybody on the line right now when you get an A in your math class, right? Nothing would make me happier. So I'm always looking for student tutors. I just think it's a great place. And this whole online thing, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm ready to go back on campus personally.
Great, John.
Yeah.
Have you had enough of this Zoom stuff? I mean, it's great and everything, but I just want to invite you guys to come find me in the Learning Commons when we're back on campus, and come to the board and do a lesson with me like the good old days. All right. But if anybody has any questions, I mean, make an appointment with me. If you're taking a math class this semester, get to know me. Just leave right now, the meeting, and make an appointment with John Politis. All right. And I'd love to work with you. And I don't know if anybody has any questions about math. I'd be happy to answer them.
And likewise, I'd be happy to answer any questions about writing.
Same with me. So yeah. If you guys want to, if there are any questions, please do just pipe up, anybody, about anything.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that because I wanted to know, like, are we? I don't know. Is there tutors that can like do like just like in person tutoring, or is it all going to have to be on like online or on a Zoom thing?
So I'll speak to that first. So basically, while we're in this format, it will be basically either e-tutoring or online, like we're doing at the present moment. But based on what I've been told up to this point, we will be back on campus at least half-time, as far as I know right now, or eventually. So eventually we will get back to that place where we will be doing some face-to-face tutoring. But as of right now, this is about as face-to-face as it's gonna get in the moment. But we make it work. I tell you, I mean, like, it's almost like the real thing, but we just aren't physically right there with one another. But we can still get a lot done, get a lot accomplished, a lot of information to share, and we can get to know each other even in this format.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the one thing that I could add is just the last 18 months, I have just been, things have changed a lot and evolved, and it's like, we're on campus. I remember, you know, a little more than a year ago, it was like, we're on campus, we're off campus, we're coming back, we're online again. And it's just this constant flux of change. it's almost like the only thing to be certain of is uncertainty or something. So like Isaiah said, I mean, we're trying to get back on campus in some limited capacity, but there's been some recent developments. I mean, who knows? I mean, we're kind of at the mercy of even, what the city says or what the federal government says or whatever. So things could always change, but I know we're trying to offer both. The online is going to continue even if we come back on campus because it works better for some folks. And in person works better for some folks. And we're trying to do both, like henceforth, as much as we can. But, coming back on campus is just, we're going to try our best. I'm going back August 6th, the week of August 16th. I'm going to go back and kind of like feel out the scene. We'll see if it's still a ghost town on campus or not, but I'm ready to go back. So let's go. All right.
Second that, John.
Yeah, me too. Hey, I see a question here from Croy. He asked, what part of the CCP portal do you use to access the tutoring website? And that is kind of hard to see. I get lost on that portal myself. Yeah, Isaiah, do you have something you want to say?
Okay, there's two ways you can access tutoring services in the student portal. You can access it from the actual student tab, or you can access it from student quick links. There's always a link there. You have to look schedule an appointment for tutoring is basically what it says. You would click on it and it would take you, redirect you where you need to go, and you will see everything you need to see.
Yeah. And so this is after you log in. You always have to log into MyCCP.
You have to log into MyCCP first.
Yeah.
And you have to be registered. You cannot access it unless you're registered for courses.
We're actually just typing in some simplified directions, from the student quick links option that Isaiah was mentioned. So it's like you just go to student quick links when you're in MyCCP, the menu drops down, select access online tutoring. I'm saying this as I'm typing it. Access online tutoring. And you should be able to register and all those things that Patrick talked about once you enter WC online at that point, right? So you could like schedule an appointment at that point. That's super simplified, but I'll put my email there. If anybody has any trouble or needs more assistance, just email me and I'll be happy to help you out.
I do remember when I personally did it the first time, it actually took a while for me to get through the system the first time, but then afterwards it became very easy. And it might be that you all will experience something like that too. Don't hesitate to reach out, like give me an email, give somebody else that you know an email to ask about it, and we'll help you through it. Okay.
And it's really not that bad. It's just like anything else. Like once you do it once, it's, a lot easier the second time and just becomes more comfortable. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Shane, Corey, and Al, I was wondering, I don't know the answer. Do you know if these guys are able to log into MyCCP already?
Do they
Great,
have J numbers?
great question. So, hello, how are you all? Good to see you. So I know there's one student who I'm working with now who does not have access to his MyCCP account. There's something wrong there.
Yes.
I'm working with 4IT to resolve that. We did do a survey and about 90% of the students responded. Everyone besides that one student has access to their CCP account and email.
Yes.
Cool.
Oh,
Do you think it would be worthwhile to ask these guys to make an appointment with a tutor now, even if they don't necessarily have anything to, talk with the tutor about, just so they can, because once you make an appointment, guys, you can cancel it too. You don't actually have to go to that appointment if you feel like you don't want to. But I'd encourage you to, because tutors are just sitting there. If you make the appointment, they're ready to talk to you. So you could just talk to them, even if it's only for 5 minutes.
It could be for practice, just to see that you can do it.
Yep.
yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah.
And I know next week we're having a registration event. So the students will know more concretely which classes they're taking. So they'll be able to, talk about what does this class look like that I'm about to take. So yes, definitely students try out the the scheduling form for the tutors. So I think it's definitely good practice, like Mr. Devine said.
Practice on me because nobody sets up appointments in the summer anyway. So practice on me. Excuse me.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that. You could practice on me too, but you know, oftentimes students have been making appointments in the summer just to talk about being successful in the fall, and just even if it's just like a quick meeting, come up with a little plan, you know, like on how you're going to pass that math class in the fall.
And I can tell you all about 101 classes. I'm a recent graduate, class of 2019. I've sat in those chairs. I felt the anxiety. I can tell you what it's like, what to expect. I have a lot to offer. Make an appointment and we'll talk.
Please take them up on this, guys. Please do this. This is such a good idea to do that. Just to talk about the courses you're going to take and what you think it might be like. It's worth it, even if it's only 10 minutes.
Yep. I think the students already know I have a lot of sayings. One of my sayings is stay ready and you don't have to get ready.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ditto.
I like it. Take care of yourself, right?
Yeah. Nice. Well, I just wanted to kind of do as much as we could to get people kind of comfortable with this idea. That's all that I had thought of to talk about today. So why don't, you guys, CME students, new students, why don't you guys make an appointment now? Or if you've got some questions about those courses you're signed up for, go ahead and ask them now or send them in an email to one of us, or make an appointment with a tutor now to ask a couple of those questions.